So do you remember how in those old Flash games, if you're really struggling with a level, they'd have like these powers in the shop that would make the levels easier? And there was always like an instant win power up. Something like the Mighty Eagle in Angry Birds or the Super Monkey in Bloons. These were for people that just didn't give a shit about the puzzle and just wanted to win. They could just buy this and then bypass the entire puzzle. So they were always some crazy spectacle in order to be appealing to people. You would think that if you were designing a game that was about solving puzzles, why would you add a feature that just lets people bypass the puzzle entirely? Kind of undermines your entire design philosophy, right? But I think in the end, this works for a few different reasons. First of all, it lets the player take your rules as a suggestion rather than a requirement. If they want to, they can choose to play by your rules, but if they don't want to take the game too seriously, they can use some of your cheats. And this also means that the game is going to be more approachable for a wider range of skill levels. So somebody who's struggling, they don't have to beat the level as intended if they really can't do it. They can reach for the instant win power-ups or just whatever power-ups as a last resort. And these things, they kind of give you the excitement of doing things that you aren't supposed to do in kind of like a childlike way. And I think that's especially true with things like the Super Monkey and the Mighty Eagle that just like in a very dramatic fashion just destroy the entire level. It kind of makes the player feel like they have like a power to just break the game apart. And I think that human nature, we do like breaking rules, but we don't want to feel like we're cheating. So these features aren't usually branded as cheats because people don't really want to feel like they're cheating. Having it as just like a feature in the game, it makes it feel more like it's fair and balanced to the player. Another thing, it kind of saves the developer if they happen to make any unintuitive bullshit levels, because nobody's forced to play them as intended if they don't want to. Obviously, developers should do their best to play test to make sure all the levels are easy to understand, but if there's a couple that are just complete BS, having that as a feature means that nobody has to suffer through them if they really suck that bad. It doesn't entirely save the developer because they're still going to get criticized for it, but at least those BS levels won't stop players completely in their tracks. And something that was definitely true back in the mobile game era is that this was a pretty easy way for devs to make money because they can sell these features while still letting people play the games for free, because nothing important is locked behind the paywall. Like, you can still very well beat the game without buying any of that stuff. So in my game, Swivel Olympics, it's not exactly a puzzle game, but it is similar to games like Bloons and Angry Birds in its short levels that gradually introduce new mechanics over time. So there is a shop where you can buy some one-time abilities that will make the levels easier. And the way that you get coins, there's coins in all of the levels. And even if you don't beat the level, you will still get however many coins you collected. So if you're struggling a lot with a level, you're gonna rack up a bunch of money, which means you can use that to get some abilities. And the way the levels evolve in this game, if you had access to some of the later mechanics that are introduced in the earlier levels, it would just completely trivialize them. Like in the second area, you get access to an ability that lets you jump. With the way that the first area is designed, if you could jump, you could skip pretty much the whole level, which is exactly why in the shop, you could buy this jump ability and use it in the first level if you want to. Because if you're really struggling with, say, 1-5, for example, you can just go in with a pogo charge and just skip pretty much half the level just by jumping over this wall here. So, I mean, if you are struggling, this can be helpful, but it's also just fun because you feel like you're breaking the game apart. Like, I'm setting out how I intend for you to do it, but you can just say, yeah, no thanks. I'm gonna just buy this and skip the level. And that's kind of fun in its own way. But yeah, I would like some suggestions on more abilities that I can add. I'm thinking maybe an ability that slows down time so that you have more time to react to things. If you want to play Swivel Olympics, the beta is available if you join our Discord server. You can just fill out a form and then we'll send you the build. I would love to get your feedback.